right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning back in. It's the NYND podcast. It is, I guess, about a week after the national championship game, 34-23. Tale of two halves again. And, no guarantee we'll get back here, but it was a hell of a ride. And I think we had a lot of fun watching and covering the team. But yeah, Cam, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was tough. It's like I almost wish they didn't give me hope.
Yeah.
So no, it was tough. Listen, I mean, that first drive, as impressive as it was, I think we all realized they can't keep this up.
Yeah.
I mean,
He threw up on the sideline.
Yeah, so I mean, as great as it was never sustained. It reminded me of Conor McGregor when he fought Floyd, going out there. It just can't sustain.
Yeah.
And the better team will exploit that. So, yeah, I mean, the better football players won. I don't know if the better football team won, but in terms of talent, yeah, I mean, I think outside of the 2013 Alabama team, that's the best football team I've ever seen, like talent-wise.
You put them up there against like LSU in 2019.
Yes, absolutely.
2018 Clemson.
Yeah, I would. I don't know if they would win, but I put them in that category. Yeah, I mean, give you a perfect example, that last play, Jeremiah Smith, Christian Gray gave him a 13-yard cushion, and he still got
he gave him the leverage to the sideline, which well,
it's funny. They showed a clip of the Ohio State sideline, and Ibuka called that out. He goes, "We have to run a go route on Christian," because he pointed out the fact that it's giving him way too much inside leverage. So, yeah, they knew they were better, and but we competed. But I'm also really sick of saying that we're competing.
Yeah.
And my last point I'll make, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but this will be said. They're going to say, you beat Indiana, you beat Georgia without their quarterback, and you beat Penn State, who can never win the big game.
Yep.
So it's like, again, that's not fair, but people are going to say it.
Yep. Kieran, what do you think?
I think we started the game perfectly. That's exactly how you want to do it. You take 10 minutes off the clock. Riley is gassed. He's throwing on the sidelines. And I'm starting that game and I'm thinking like, holy shit, we can beat these guys if we just somehow find a way to replicate this, but it just wasn't sustainable. We woke a sleeping giant. First second it was 7-0. Next second it was 31-7.
So true.
And then it's like, where do we go from here? Our offense just stalled, absolutely stalled out in the first half. And yeah, it was tough. I'm like Cam said, I'm tired of saying we competed. And TJ, you're very positive you're going to find the good in this, but it's just so hard to get here. It is hard to win. We had to win 3 hard games. Who knows the next time we're going to be able to do that? It's every single year something could go different. So this one just felt heart-wrenching because I disagree. I don't think they were this mammoth of a team. I think they were weak in spots.
They could have been beaten.
Yes. They were weak in spots like where LSU and Clemson weren't. They were weak at the quarterback position.
Their secondary.
I thought Will Howard played out of his mind against us.
But Cam, we were rushing 3 guys. He could have had a picnic back there.
Exactly. There was no pressure, and that's our defensive game plan.
Yeah.
We just missed the golden opportunity. And then you give that quarterback all day to throw with those receivers. I could throw TJ back there. He's going to throw 300 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. So I echo both of your thoughts on this. I mean, I thought in the first half, the first drive was perfect. Couldn't draw it up any better. And I think that was the game plan because we had deferred the other 2 big games. We wanted the ball at the half, and that worked out in both cases. And with this case, this was the first point that we had to have the ball to start off the game. And could not have painted a better scenario. It took basically the entire first quarter off the clock. And at that point, it's like, hey, let's just get to the locker room at halftime with this game still kind of close. They did. They marched right down. Ohio State answers right away. Then we get the ball. We have a false start. And then we have a 3-yard loss. So now it's 3rd in California, and we run a halfback draw. So that's one of our 3 possessions on the first half. Ohio State gets the ball back. They march right down the field. And again, Kieran, to your point, that wasn't the defense that we watched all year. Like, I'm not saying that we were never going to get a bunch of sacks in a game, but it's, I think what Al Golden and I think what his philosophy was just to get the quarterback off time. Just get him to have some hurries and to make some bad decisions, some bad throws. And we weren't doing any of that. We were playing like prevent the whole time.
I think he was so scared of their receivers. Like he did not leave anyone one-on-one.
Was he thinking about the Cincinnati job?
I don't know. It's
Al Golden. He left the day after the game to go to Cincinnati to be their defensive coordinator.
We talked about it. The Kaiser, our sixth-year captain, stud star, looked lost. I don't know what that guy was doing. Literally, there was times where he was running in circles.
I think, again, like, you change the defense for one game. Like, the best to get these kids to play fast, you want to simplify, like, let them do what they know how to do. And you throw a new defense in there against this team. No wonder why they're playing slow and they look like they're lost. So Ohio State marches down the field. They score a couple of times. We get the ball again. We're driving a little bit. We have that muff snap. It's a fumble. Ohio State gets a short field. They score. What I'm frustrated with is, we didn't play our game on defense. I would have loved to see, like, what if we just played them like we played Georgia and Penn State and, like, let the chips fall where they may. And then on offense, Cam, we were talking about this last night. Against Penn State when we had to have it, and against Ohio State when we had to have it, when our back was against the wall, we're like, F it, let's just go. Riley Leonard throws dimes. And all of a sudden we have wide receivers and, like, we're moving up and down the field. Why couldn't – it's annoying because we literally had 3 possessions in that first half. The first one was dynamite. Second one was plagued by penalties. You can't have that. It's uncharacteristic. That hasn't been this team all year. Finally bit us in the ass. And then the third possession, a muff snap, and, like, here we are, like 31-7. And then what happens? We punch back and we get ourselves back in the game, and, like, their best wide receiver makes a play. I mean, my point about never getting back here is Joe Burrow still hasn't gotten back there yet. The Bills can't win a big game. Like, there is no guarantee we'll get back here. But I would say this. I think this year we were maybe a little ahead of schedule. This is Freeman's, his 3rd year. So he's got 3 years of recruiting under his belt. Like, these are all, for the most part, his guys. Next year, they're really all of his guys. And I think we can see the talent starting to tick up. The offense was kind of run the way it had to be run this year at Riley Leonard. We weren't really going to throw the ball around a whole lot. Maybe we could have in hindsight, but we weren't going to because he was a running quarterback. Now with some more athletes coming in and maybe some more, like, pure passers playing quarterback this year, guy like Greathouse, that kid Fields from Virginia I sent you just transferred in. He's like a 6'5", like, bona fide deep threat. I don't know. I think maybe we're a little ahead of schedule, and I think to say that we can't get back here, just I don't know. I don't buy into that. I think we definitely can, and I think we've kind of put the country on notice that we're here to stay. I'm not saying we're going to win every year, but I think we'll be in the mix every year.
Yeah, I think, well, to Kieran's point, I think it's never been harder to get here. I think back in the day, there was one BCS game and you were picked to be in it.
Yeah.
And just to speak to sort of the scarcity of this, like, think of our own father, right? So Dad was 23 when they won. He was then 50 years old when they made it a second time, and now he's 60. So, like, Kieran could be twice his age now.
Yeah.
Next time we make, and again, like, it's only harder now. You have to win 3 games just to get there. So, yeah, it sucks.
We had some shit coaches in Notre Dame between Lou Holtz and Brian Kelly, though, too. I mean, it's just some Charlie Weiss and his belt loop popping on the sideline.
Yeah.
I think the future looks a lot brighter than it ever has, other than when Lou Holtz was on the sideline. So, like, again, man, I mean, it sucks. It does. Because, like, in hindsight, I feel like we could have won that game if we played next to perfect. And it's a shame we're, like, kind of got bit in the ass on things that we hadn't all playoffs, like.
It was how we played all year, though. We were so slow in the first half.
Yeah.
You can't do that against a team of, like, with the scoring power that Ohio State has. The margin was too big. We had
Yep.
it in the second half, and we just couldn't overcome the deficit. And that part sucked because in the second half, I was like, shit, like, we're here. Like, this is doable. But at that point, it was just too much.
And it almost wasn't, man. That was 3rd and 8 on that Jeremiah Smith throw. We get the ball back.
Well, I want to address something before I forget it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you might disagree, but we're down 13. No, we're down 16. It's late in the fourth quarter, and Freeman elects to rush the field goal team out.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be like, okay, we're going to take points. No, you rush the field goal kicker out. We miss the kick. The kick makes no sense to me. You're making a 2-score game a 2-score game. I don't care about the morale. Like, let's get off the board with points.
Yeah.
Even if you do get that field goal and it's you have to stop Ohio State twice and you have to score twice. I'd much rather take a chance at scoring a touchdown to make it a 1-possession game instead of having to have all of that go perfect. So I think Freeman lacked right there. That was an odd decision for me.
I've heard both sides of this. I don't know that I disagree. That defense is the best in the country on the goal line. We had the ball 1st and 5 on the 5 and couldn't do shit. So
I take a 4th and goal over rushing a field goal unit out. You're never.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have that field goal at the end of the game where we didn't need a 2-point conversion, though. If we had gotten the ball back, you know,
it's kind of funny if you think about it. His 2 biggest miscues of his tenure at Notre Dame were against his alma mater.
Yeah,
big bad ones, and like inexcusable, and just admit they were bad and move on because they were.
Yeah,
so, Cam, you agree with the?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to find many people that disagree with that.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
I tried to think of his angle. Okay, what is he thinking here? I'm like, I don't know.
The only plausible argument I heard was like, okay, let's get the guys need to get some points on the board for their morale.
I don't buy that one. I think if there was, I think the morale thing is like that's like a fan thing.
There was 9 minutes left in the game. You're down 16 points.
So his answer, he's like, what he said in the press conference is, I thought it would be easier to get 13 points than 16 points, which, yeah, it's true, but it also doesn't matter. So,
well, if he, I mean, again,
you still need to get the ball back.
If he had the field goal, I don't know how he missed it. It was a shit. I think it was a bad snap. But if we had that field goal and we make that stop on 3rd and 8, we don't need another touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
We didn't show much of a sign that we were going to stop them. We gave up 35 points. Like, we needed points.
I don't know.
Our defense wasn't exactly standing on their head.
And one thing we're not talking about is I thought our offensive line got dominated. Like, and that's something. This is not the offensive line we've seen from Notre Dame. There's no Quentin Nelsons. There's no Joe Klass. Like, this is not. Yeah, they might be good, but they're not what they have been in the past.
In the second half, I thought they held up very well, though.
Our offensive line. We had a lot of second string and third string guys.
That's true too. That's fair.
And in the second half, though, I mean, they held up, I thought, just fine against that like unbeatable defensive front. We were throwing the ball all over the place. It's frustrating. Like, what if that? Again, if Riley Leonard plays in the spring and gets all those reps with guys like Greathouse, Mitchell Evans, if he plays in the spring, does the offense look different all year? I mean, I had that offense in the second half against Penn State and Ohio State was awesome. Awesome.
But what is the big change with one half to the other?
I mean, just if you look at the pass attempts and it was incredible.
I know, but how does playing spring ball affect how he plays in the first half versus second half?
Well, especially 8 months later.
No, I mean, I'm just saying if he had, because he transferred in. He's not getting the reps with these guys until August before the season starts. That's why the offense was what it was. QB run to the right, read option to Love the other way. And then when we absolutely had to throw the ball and he's like, screw it, I'm just going to freaking sling this thing. He was throwing dimes. So if that was like built, that was supposedly built into the offense earlier in the year. And Leonard and Mike Denbrock had a sit down because Denbrock wants to run that offense, that Jaden Daniels, like mobile quarterback, throw it all around. And Leonard's like, yeah, I mean, I can't hit that throw. Can you give me some more checkdowns? Yeah, they had a real sit down, I think, after the Northern Illinois game. And that's when they simplified the offense and we got what we got all year. All I'm saying is it's just to sit here and kind of play what if that game could have been won. And again, I think we're ahead of schedule here, but to get that one ahead of schedule would have been awesome.
See, the head of schedule thing I don't really jump on because I think this is the first time in a long time the field's been even. And I think eventually it's going to get back to that state where Alabama's going to, the SEC is going to.
I don't think so. With NIL, I think those days are done.
We're already losing guys in the transfer portal left and right this year.
Yeah, but they're all backups.
We're taking a big hit. So this was like our golden opportunity. There was no clear favorite. Next year, Michigan's going to be back. Ohio State's going to be back. And it's just going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we think so. Ohio State just lost Jim Knowles to Penn State. Will Howard's gone. Jeremiah Smith is going to, terrify defenses for 3 years.
I heard he might be thinking about transfer portal.
I heard Carnell Tate is thinking about the transfer portal. He was committed to Notre Dame for like 8 months, and then he bailed the last second.
Who's Carnell Tate?
No,
he's like the second guy in Ohio State. He's one of their good wide receivers, and so was Caleb. Caleb Downs and Carnell Tate, babes, were both signed to Notre Dame for like 8-9 months, and then they bailed like the week before signing day. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's we freaking lost. We lost the game. If there was a way to lose, I'd want to lose that way because at least I can say we fought. It wasn't 42-12, and like we can at least be like slightly optimistic moving forward where it doesn't have a huge blemish on the season. Like Jaden Greathouse is going to be an absolute star.
Love him.
I do. Come on. We haven't had a guy like that since Chase Claypool. I think he blows Claypool out of the water. That spin move on Caleb Downs was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a stud.
And then he takes it 40 yards to the house. And then Love comes back. Price is coming back. And we'll see what the quarterbacks look like. So why don't we pivot to quarterback for next year? Who's the guy, Cam, you want to see?
Cam, remember how you were talking about on the last call how disrespectful it was? They were giving Love 44 yards.
Yeah.
I think he had less than 10.
Yeah, he didn't play well at all.
He's
Maybe
hurt.
He was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt, man. He was
hurt. Well, then if he's hurt, why don't you play other running back who's apparently almost just as good?
I think maybe it'd be a decoy. I don't know.
That was one positive for me. I was like, all right, we're in this game, and our best player is not himself.
He didn't touch. There wasn't a lot of. I mean, if you think about it, like in the first half, they had 3 possessions. Like there wasn't a lot of time before you know it. You're down 2 scores, and there wasn't a whole lot of time. But let's get the running game going.
Wait, before I forget to address this because this pisses me off. Notre Dame defensive staff, pay attention.
Yeah.
Teach your guys how to tackle. We cannot tackle. We are the worst tackling program in Division I. I'm sick and tired of seeing Jack Kaiser just tripping over himself as he's like, we just bounce off these guys. We look like a JV team trying to tackle varsity players. And I haven't seen them make a one-on-one tackle the entire playoff. They always need 6 guys. Gang tackling, yeah, but not if you'd be strong enough to tackle the guy, well, you wouldn't need 7 guys. Oh God, pet peeve.
You're right though. It's so frustrating. Like you see a run that's caught dead in the backfield. He sheds 2 guys and gets it.
Go watch a Georgia linebacker. He's doing it by himself. Not only is he doing it by himself, he's blowing the guy backwards. Whereas opposed to, we take 7 of us and we're falling back. It's so bad. I don't know if they're not strong enough, if they're not fast enough, but God.
Open.
It was definitely. I think the last 2 games were pretty rough.
It's so.
I mean, you know what though? Like the last 2 games, guys, we played the 4 best running backs in the country.
That's true too, but
I mean, like every now and again, like if we're gonna give Ohio State all this credit for being Superman at every position, I mean,
I want that
every now and again they're gonna win a couple of reps.
I want that Urlacher kid to get in next year because he won't miss tackles. He will not miss tackles. So
yeah, I think again, man, unfortunately, I think a lot of it went back to the scheme that we were running. Like we weren't playing aggressive. We were playing on our heels the whole first half. So it's like in anything. Like if you don't really know what you're doing, it could be like at work, it could be before a freaking sales call. If you're not prepared and you're not it's not second nature to you, you're tentative, you're gonna get run over. Like if you know what you're doing, you're coming downhill. Like chances are you're gonna play a little more free and maybe make a better play. I just don't think the coaches put our guys on defense in a good spot to win this game, and it's really, really frustrating. I'm not saying we would have shut them down by any means, but it would have been a better showing.
They coach not to lose, not to win.
In the first half, definitely, yeah. It was like, come on, this isn't how we play. I'd rather go down how we got here. You know, if we blitz and leave a guy wide open, screw it. But we hit their quarterback and he's on the ground with turf coming out of his face mask. You know,
he looked like Steve Young out there. Like,
yeah, he looks great. He looks fantastic.
We couldn't even tackle him one-on-one. He's taking 2 linebackers with him. You know, he looks great. But
no disagreement here, man. Hopefully it gets better. More and more athletes are starting to come in the program. Next year we got hopefully Boubacar and Love coming off the edges, and they're healthy. And we got a new defensive tackle from USC, and I think a defensive tackle from Louisville, who are like, we need those big fat chubba guys in the middle.
Yeah, we're too small.
The guys that Georgia gets and Alabama and Ohio State, like their defensive tackles just look like monsters. And we have a guy in there who can just like
he's shifty.
I love that. I want a guy like that on my team because he'll make a play every now and again. But I want some big chubba
you
guy.
need a Dexter Lawrence, someone that just can anchor and not move. You know,
yeah. Or like that guy from back in the day. Remember Lewis Nix on Notre Dame? He was on the 2012 team. Just
even better. Boy. Remember Sheldon Day? Like,
sure.
Stud.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Someone like that.
Jerry Tillery.
Justin
Tuck. I think Justin Tuck was defensive end at Notre Dame, though.
Oh, I thought we were just naming good.
Yeah, we had Nixon. What was the guy? Tuitt was the other guy.
Nix, Stephon Tuitt, Capron Lewis Moore.
Jerry Tillery.
Yeah, Jerry Tillery. But listen, I mean, I hopefully we get some more talent on the team and keep building. But next year, it kind of seems like the last 2 years, the team, like Michigan, a couple of years ago, they go to the playoff, they dominate Ohio State, and they get run over by Georgia. But they have everybody come back. And then they lose to TCU, but they have everybody come back. And then they're like
TCU. Did they? I forgot about that.
Yeah, in the first round.
Oh God.
Yeah, we went. Caitlin and I went to a Michigan bar in the city, and you guys will love this. We're watching. I'm just loving watching Michigan lose, and it was a great game. And there was this case where there was this guy. He's on a date with this girl, and you can tell this guy has maybe watched 2 seconds of football in his whole life, but he wants this girl that he's on a date with to think he's a big fan. Every time there's a big play, come on, let's go. That's all he said every time. Come on, let's go. Caitlin and I were having a field day.
Get him.
Yeah, get him. Make a move. But everybody from Michigan comes back. They win the national title. Like this year for Ohio State, that was a very veteran team. Everybody made the choice to come back.
Did you see Sawyer and did like a press conference or like a speech at Ohio State stadium?
No.
It was so awkward. He was trying to make a joke, but it really wasn't funny. He was like, at this point, I'd like to announce I'm coming back in my 5th year. I'm just joking.
Oh,
no.
It was so weird because everyone started cheering like he was coming back. Then he didn't give the joke at all, like any time to settle, and he was like, I'm just joking.
He is in his 5th year right now, isn't he?
What's that?
Like he is in his 5th year, right now?
4. He's only been there 4.
That guy, I mean, he just looks like a 5-star recruit, that guy.
He's Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah. Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa.
I love all the clips, and I think he's guilty of it. They asked him, like, if you were to win a national championship, but you lose to Michigan, will it mean anything? And all of them say no. Like, it's funny how all of them, like, care more about that Michigan game, and now all of a sudden they don't.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing Michigan back in the mix again next year. Like now that we're back, like Penn State's good. Joe Cladis, Penn State is the #1 team next year. Going back to that veteran presence, they're all coming back.
Not with Big Game James.
Dude, I mean, they said that about Ryan Day until he just steamrolled everybody this round.
It's fair. Good point.
So they said that about Kirby Smart until he finally beat Nick Saban. And they said that about there used to be a term called Clemsoning because Clemson would always get to a bowl game and get their ass kicked. And then, so eventually that's why I'm optimistic. Maybe we'll get a turn at this little, the confetti one of these times, but eventually it has to turn. But getting back to next year, we got sidetracked. What do you guys? Who do you want to see playing quarterback next year, Cam? And what do you want the offense to look like?
I don't know enough about them to really say, but I know what I want is a recruited quarterback.
Yep.
I don't care who it is. I don't want a 23-year-old kid who's a graduate transfer who is a very niche player, like one-dimensional, like Riley Leonard. I don't want Jack Cohn. So whether it's Angeli or Carr,
everyone forgets about Cohn. Yeah.
I mean, listen, like Angeli performed. So, and as CJ Carr has spoken about, like he's John Elway, but he cannot be that good if we're asking for graduate transfers like we did this past year. So, or Riley Leonard. So I don't know. Give me Angeli. Like I've seen it. He can do it.
Yeah.
Give me Angeli.
All right, babes. What do you got?
Yeah, kind of go off Cam. I'm done with the transfer quarterback. We talked about it. We went through Hartman, mentioned Cohn.
Hartman too. Forgot about him. Yeah.
Jack Cohen's even more impressive. Like everyone remembers Hartman. Hartman's freaking he's like a model for Notre Dame. This guy.
He's on the commies, I think now, but he's never dressed. I don't know what he does for them.
He just looks looks handsome on the sideline. Gets the women in the stands.
I don't know. You've talked about this Carr guy for a while now, and I haven't seen a lick of him.
Yeah, I like him.
But like Cam said, how good could he be?
I think he's damn good, and I think they knew that maybe they had to
realize sophomores start if they're that good.
I mean, if he starts this year,
redshirt sophomore.
If he starts as like a true, he early enrolled last year in January, so he should have still been in high school.
That's what a lot of kids are doing that now, though.
That's fine. But my point is, like, Riley Leonard was a damn good quarterback, and they brought him in. We went to the national championship.
But why were you even looking?
Because it was
5-star, you can build a program around.
Yeah, because maybe he doesn't have enough hair under his arms yet, guys. I don't know.
Well, to go off that, I think I've seen Angeli. It's been brief, but he has a good arm. He's been in big situations, and he's managed to find points. Let's start with him week 1. I feel like he deserves it. And then, but at the same time, give him a quarterback competition. Let's see if Carr wins.
I think there's going to be, definitely a quarterback competition. It'll be him, Minchie, and Angeli. I like Angeli. I think the kid just like exudes confidence, honestly. But he came in a 2-minute offense and had a bunch of check down reads. I think if the defense has a chance to kind of game plan for him, I don't know. At a certain point, you got to trust the coaches. They know who to put out there. I think Carr is the guy, but a lot of people think this kid Minchie is maybe more talented. He's a little more mobile. But I'm with both of you guys. I want a recruited quarterback, someone where like, hey, if we go 10-2 this year, but we like built some lineage with this guy to the point where maybe even like 2026, we kind of know what we have going into that year. I'm ready to start, building under one of our homegrown guys.
I want a stud quarterback. Like I was thinking about Riley Leonard. He's not a stud quarterback, right? So people say, well, he got us the chip. No, he didn't. Trent Dilfer didn't get the Ravens to the Super Bowl. 2015 Peyton Manning didn't get them to the Super Bowl. That Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball further than my grandmother. So being a piece of a machine does not mean you're the main part of it. Like our offense was not good this year. They were good enough to get there, but they were not prolific and they were not impressive. And he just happened to be the quarterback.
I think he was important only in the run game. Like he was huge.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
But I want TG had asked what we want the offense to look like. I want to feel like we can get a first down on 3rd and 10. On 3rd and 10, I want.
Besides a Riley Leonard quarterback sneak.
Yeah,
like granted, like
post.
He ran.
I mean, my point is like a first down's a first down and a touchdown's a touchdown, no matter how you get it.
I know, but I'm sure there's times in the Northern Illinois game we could have used a passing quarterback.
There are definitely.
So, it's not a lot to ask, especially for the University of Notre Dame to get a quarterback that can pass.
Yeah,
I think we have him. I think he's on the roster, and I think we have the offensive coordinator to draw it up. And maybe some more halfback stuff like out of the backfield. Get Love the ball in space, or like Price, like please, like let him heal up. I think it was an MCL on his knee. I mean, you guys would know more than me. I think it was an MCL sprain, Is that something that's just like always there and can get re-aggravated, or like can that get like fixed where you're good in 6 months?
You can repair it. Yeah, you can fix it. It just takes time.
And then you're just thinking about it all the time?
Nah, I stopped thinking. Kieran, you probably stopped thinking about it too after a while. I didn't think about it anymore.
Well, I remember when we were living together on the subway, it re-aggravated you because babes, Cam refused to hold on to the handlebar. He wanted to prove it to everybody on the train that he had enough balance to handle the subway. He re-aggravated his knee.
It stops or sudden and abrupt. I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, that's the least of your problems on the subway nowadays.
Yeah,
You can get lit on fire.
Hey, man.
So,
But yeah, homegrown quarterback. I mean, who doesn't want to see just more bombs?
I was thinking about the game against Georgia. Like every first down we got was a naked bootleg, Riley Leonard running as hard as he can, diving for the first down. Like that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
It worked though. I mean, in that case, he literally won us that game.
Yeah,
he did. I mean, we got it. I just
all right.
I wish he was, on the team for like forever because I just love the kid so much.
Let's be fair, real quick, because we had a kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah,
we had a very convenient turnover that led to a touchdown. Like
that was helmet on the football. That was.
I agree. Great defensive play, but Riley Leonard had to go 10 yards. So like,
yeah,
he's great kid, great athlete. He'll play in the NFL, but he's not Dan Marino.
He's not. He'll be a tight end probably. But I just for this year, he was everything we needed, and I'm hoping that the next guy can come in and take it to the next level. Like you want to get better. You don't want to run this offense every year. We want to keep. I would love to turn on CJ Carr highlights, having a beer with you guys before we go out in the town and just watch bombs. Bombs, like LSU 2019 bombs. Guys catching it in stride. Like that's what I want to see.
I don't remember the last time I saw that ever. My whole life. Like
I mean, maybe Brady Quinn, but I don't even know like if that was comparable.
I think Jaden Grayhouse against Ohio State was like in the corner of the end zone. That's the closest thing I can think of.
That's perfect too.
That's the answer. That's the last time I've seen that.
Yeah. But that'd be pretty cool. CJ Carr highlights in like 10 years, just throwing bombs.
Just slinging it. Not bubble screens.
Four verts. Let's make
it. Play action, massive crow hop. Boom. Yeah. Guy catches it in stride. He's doing
like the Jeremiah Smith throw.
No, like Sean and I always make fun of Dad's story. Dad's gonna be like, "You guys are killing me on this cast, giving away my age, giving away all my bad." when Dad was playing football and he was playing cornerback, and he took it upon himself to come flying in on a blitz, and Sean and I always just guys sees him, oh, he's coming. Play action, oh, got him, massive crow hop. The guy catches it.
Classic.
That's a true story. I think when he was.
It is a true story.
His parents were in the stands, and like it's funny.
Yeah, Nana and Pop were in the stands, and he never started one more play the entire game. They put him on the bench. Imagine the balls of that, just to say, "Screw it."
Well, I think it wasn't a blitz.
No, I think he blew his coverage. I don't know if he blitzed, but it sounds like a better story.
For some reason, I thought he just came in on a blitz.
Just unilaterally decided to blitz.
That's a tough position to just be like, I'm going to blitz.
I think I got him.
There's no worse feeling I've felt in sports than knowing that you got burned. The worst is when you see the receiver go like this. You're like, oh God, no! Here it comes.
Well, it's gotta be brutal. Like you're doing your back pedal, and then you flip your hips, and you're running with them, and this guy's just faster, and you got no safety. Help!
Yeah, by the time you flip your hips, you're starting from scratch. He's already full speed.
Yeah.
I've had some nightmares.
And there's just no safety there. Pick him up.
Shit.
Yeah, it's the ultimate. Oh shit!
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
That was like again the Penn State game when that tight end was playing quarterback and he kind of rolled out to the sideline and our linebacker came in going in for the tackle like 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and the tight end just goes.
Yeah, that guy's a stud though.
I think the Giants should look at him.
I want Abdul. Get rid of Kayvon Thibodeau. See ya. Useless.
Yeah,
Don't
I'd
care.
love Abdul.
Yeah.
I'd love an offensive line.
Yeah, but we've been saying that for 12 years.
Who you guys think they're gonna draft? Let's shift gears real quick. Who do you think they're gonna take?
I haven't paid enough attention. You guys go first.
I've been kind of diving down so many different rabbit holes. I've been seeing trade for Justin Fields, draft Travis Hunter.
Justin Fields.
He's a backup at Pittsburgh, and I know.
No, I know, but like what?
Buy low, sell high, pal.
I don't know.
If Joe Shane does that, it does.
What is our option? Tommy DeVito?
I think just
I
draft.
don't want to. I'm not watching a game with him playing quarterback. We're a gimmick. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's so.
I'm so sick of it with the freaking cutlets. I can't. The Giants used to be a proud franchise. Now we're like the Jersey Shore Boardwalk.
We're the
like,
Jets. We've become the Jets.
We're a circus.
Yeah.
And it's like even more frustrating because you just had the Commies and the Eagles in the NFC Championship, and we're nowhere near that.
No, but it's annoying because we almost beat the Commanders a couple of times.
Malik Neighbors dropped the key first down that lost.
Your boy Malik. Yeah. And we're gonna have to face Jaden Daniels for the next 15 years. But then again, we said the same thing about RG3. So who knows?
I think he had a fantastic year. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's gonna slow down a little. The media is obsessed. The media is obsessed with him. Right?
That was Joe Burrow too, if you remember.
Joe's still the best quarterback in the league, but I think.
Whoa! Hot take.
Okay, other than Pat, that's what happened.
Yeah,
I do feel like watching Joe Burrow every time he drops back for a pass. I feel like it's just going to be complete.
Pat Mahomes didn't even make the Pro Bowl this year. I'm just saying.
Could you argue it? Yeah, but you just throw that out there. Like I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Obviously, it's Pat. Pat's the to be the best.
And voter fatigue, right? LeBron's the best player in the league every year. Like he doesn't always make first team All NBA.
I really don't want to see Kansas City win, but I don't want to see Saquon win either.
You see, I don't
like Saquon. I don't mind Saquon.
The thing with Saquon is, one, he wouldn't have done what he did on the Eagles this year on the Giants. Would have never happened.
Yep.
Two, the Giants screwed up, not him.
I know. Yeah. So I know, but still, it's Philly, man.
Yeah, I
do wonder how
the Philly. I think I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to go for.
Did you guys see the video of that guy? There's a guy in the mosh pit they do in the street. This guy just all of a sudden goes like, "Yeah, Eagles!" Takes out a gun and starts shooting shots.
Yeah.
What are you, animals?
Yeah,
animals.
I know. Dude, they tear their city down when they win.
They climb the poles, and their parents had like their little kid try to climb the pole, and the cop came over and like jokingly took the kid away and arrested him. He was like a 4-year-old.
They're just like.
Yeah, that's one city I never need to visit.
You guys are the worst. I have no desire.
Honestly, not that bad of a city. I've been
really.
Yeah, it's only an hour from Jersey, so I would go see some of my friends over
there. How is like the going out scene? Is it pretty decent?
Solid. Yeah, like
really.
There's definitely the sketchy streets that you don't go down.
Or is there like guys boxing, hitting the heavy bag, riding around with like dirt bikes?
It's not Rocky.
What is this, Rocky?
I don't know. I mean, apparently they have that cam in Astoria Park. Remember those days? It was little like motorcycle gangs flying around.
Yeah, that's the worst. I always beg whenever I see them doing the wheelies. I'm like, just fall off one time.
Yeah,
just
dude,
one
please.
time fall off.
God, does that work with the chicks?
Or like the guys that have that pop noise in their car.
It's gone a little better. Maybe because like it's gotten colder, where like those car clubs aren't everywhere. But I mean, it'll scare the shit out of you.
It's the worst when like it actually like sometimes it'll jump scare me.
Oh yeah,
I feel bad.
Like down here because it's 31st Street's right underneath the subway, so they know, and they just start early in the morning. You're walking to the gym. It's like,
well, I feel bad for the guy on his first date with a girl. He's trying to impress her, walking on the sidewalk, and someone does that. He's like, oh.
Hey, loud noises are scary, man.
Dude,
humans are born with two fears: loud noises and heights.
Yeah,
only two fears we're born with. Fun fact for the viewers.
I think I remember you saying that. Yeah,
heights though. You were always a big roller coaster guy.
I did. Oh, you know they're taking down King Dakar. You guys missed your chance.
There was Cam. I will say to you with a straight face, I will never bring my kids to Six Flags. Whenever our family fun trips are never going to be out to Disney. Sure, I'll do the Tower of Terror with you. but I'm not doing those crazy freaking no.
Yeah, it's something else.
No,
it's so fast. It's over before you know it. And then you're like, all right, I did it.
I heard that when you're at the top of the King Dakar, you can see Philly and New York.
You don't have enough time to really take it in, but
they don't like stop you at the top.
It's maybe a half second. But you get in to sit down, and like I remember what shocked me was when I sat down, all of a sudden it's over. Like the moment you sit down, there's no build up. It's like sit down, buckle. You know, it's like you don't have to, and they do it on purpose. You don't have time to think about what's going to happen.
I don't know, Kieran, would you do one of those?
No, I'm a lot like you when it comes to rides.
Give me a case of beer.
I don't like them either. I hate them. That's why I do them.
Yeah. I'll go. I'll shoot some basketballs in one of those arcade games. I'll slam some beers. I'm not doing the rides.
Did I ever tell you guys a skydiving story?
No.
So my wife and I, girlfriend at the time, we did it in Hawaii, and we had like Russian guys that were the staff. And so she goes first, and her guy's, off the boat Russian. And she goes, hey, we're strapped in, right? And he goes, I don't know, but here we go. And I just see her jump out. Like, oh.
The whole way down, he's probably going,
here we go. Fun times.
I think, wasn't it the week after you came back, that same tour group, there was an accident, right?
Yeah,
or something happened?
10 people died. The company I did. Crazy.
Well, I mean, that's,
crazy.
That's right.
It's insane. So, yeah.
All right. Well, folks, if you're still with us,
I went off the deep end.
We appreciate you still hanging out with us. This is the last show for a while. I think the three of us are a little Notre Damed out, but we will be back. Maybe we come back for the Blue Gold game in the spring.
I wouldn't mind like a little March Madness.
Yeah, we'll get something going for sure.
Yeah. If you follow us, stay close to that Instagram. Maybe we have a couple of announcements, maybe a couple of different channels coming because Notre Dame's not making the tournament.